Well, now to date, I've made 1,000. I was able to hit that mark because I did talk to my family as well as, and then I did have a couple of people that I went to school with, and they saw what I was doing, and they liked the pictures, and they started asking me, okay, well, how much? Because I didn't post a price, but I think it was because of how serious I was taking it. They started asking me, hey, can you edit this picture or can you remove this picture? One thing I did like that I learned in your class was about joining the Facebook groups. So I joined one of the Facebook groups, and it was people who actually send pictures to ask people to edit the pictures. So it was like they had people who were they had loved ones that had passed that they kind of wanted to put them in a picture. And then I had those that, had pictures that were sentimental to them that they wanted that picture to be edited and made clear. So what happened was, even though in that app it's free that you're doing it, but I had someone reach out to me in my message and say, "Hey, I have a couple of more pictures. Do you think you can do those? And how much would that be?" So I had been kind of stuck at 700, but once they reached out to me, I was able to hit the mark of 1,000 with charging them to do some more work for them.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is go back to our first conversation with Jada back in May. So let's press play.
Yeah, I am. I'm doing good. And you?
Doing good, thank you. I'm glad that you trusted me to help you along the way.
Yes, I've been thinking about it for a while.
Yeah.
So just kind of playing it over my head until I was like, I went down that rabbit hole with the
With the
with the
yes.
with the Dora. I went down that rabbit hole, and that's when I was like, enough is enough.
I'm curious. I haven't been hopping on their trainings too much, except for the one that they did on Tuesday. No, yesterday was
Okay.
Tuesday. Monday.
Yes.
I've been hearing it a lot. Like what I know that they've been hard selling these AI agents.
Yes. Yes, they are. And I actually, I talked to my uncle about it because he has his own insurance business. So when I heard about it, and my uncle kept asking, how can I help him, in his business? So I was like, you know what? Adora is really going in about this insurance and how it's really helping a lot of people. So I'm like, let me get all in.
Yep.
But it's I don't know if the word is way over my head. It's just not it's not my passion. And it's not really what I want to do. It's not the avenue I want to go in. So at that point, I had did the what did they call it? The press.
Like
I
a
did the
challenge.
first one I told you about. Yeah, I did the first one I told you about. And then they had another one. I thought they were going to just do a follow-up to help us to really understand what we went through. And then it was like a whole nother challenge. So it was like I'm still getting caught up on the State of the Union of the last one, you
Wow.
know,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to really get familiar with Growth Hub. I learned a lot about it, but I was still trying to get caught up on that one.
I got
And
you.
so finally, I just, I talked to my uncle and I said, you know what? I really think this would be really good for you, but I am just not, this is just not where I'm trying to go. And I don't want to do you a disservice by getting you wrapped up in it.
And
And
it's not
then,
something you really want to do.
yeah, and he understood it, and he was like, in whatever capacity that you can help me, you let me know when you're ready. And
Bet.
then, yeah, so that's kind of where, and I did a professional letter and let him know that I wouldn't be able to service him basically in what he was asking for, but in the capacity that I could help him with, that I would let him know. So,
Yeah.
and he was good with that. He understood it. Yeah. And we're real close. So,
Okay, well,
yeah.
that's good. Yeah. And it's good that he's willing to help you and be patient with you while you're
Yeah.
trying to figure it out. So I
Mhm.
definitely want to take this time to, I know you, but really get to know you, your passion, your background, so that we can help you create an offer that better suits you, that better serves you, that won't come off as a hard sell for you, something that you can just
Yeah.
sell easily. Because as you said last night, and I said last night, that stuff comes across when you're talking to people.
It
So
does.
tell me a little bit about, well, let me back up. You kind of said it a little bit, but what was the final straw to say, all right, let me just see what Kel'sea talking about? What made you finally decide to do it?
Um, I like the fact that, whenever I talk to you, you gave me your straight out opinion, no fluff, no, and that's what I need. I don't need anybody to, oh, okay, yeah, go ahead and do it. If you see I'm going off road or in the wrong direction, I need to have someone say, hey, you've got to stop taking in all this information. You've got to execute, you've got to this, because it's enough people that are going to say yes, 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 just so they can get you to buy their services. So you need people to be honest with you so you can get on the right path, because at the end of the day you want to make money, you just don't want to be information overload.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was one thing that I really liked. And then I'm looking at how you're handling your business, and you're still giving advice, and you weren't charging me, for it. And you also, on your school, you give away a lot of free information, and I learned a lot from taking your modules as well, on information or things that I could use. So I knew that if I was to buy another course, I would support you in it. But definitely after I did Adore, and I think he's really good with training. And if that was something I was looking to go into that direction, I would just be going into that direction. But that's not the direction I want to go in.
Yeah.
So I found myself going down that rabbit hole and being overwhelmed because it just wasn't where I was trying to go. And I think at that point, I just was, after this last class, I was just like, you've got to stop. You've got to stop. You know all this stuff. You've got all these notebooks. You've got all this paperwork. You've got information overload going on your head. I'm ADHD, so I'm gonna always try to be like,
Mm-hmm.
taking it in and trying to do it, but it's time to execute, and that's what I need to do.
Good. No, that's amazing to hear. You just gave me a good thing that I need to harp on more inside of my training. So
Hmm.
I appreciate that. So back to my second question. I'm sorry.
Hmm.
Tell me a little bit. I know you were in real estate. I think you have your
Yeah.
cosmetology license too. You told me.
I don't have my license anymore because I do wholesaling now. So I had my real estate license for years, and then once I got into wholesaling, you don't need your license to wholesale. And I didn't want to just keep paying all those fees, and I was doing the wholesaling part because I wasn't using my license anymore.
Hmm.
So, by my husband working in the mill and he does wholesaling, it was kind of easier for me to help with him being at home to kind of make sure the deals get to the closing table. And so I do that on the side as well. And then I had two hair salons and was running a real estate office at the same time. And I closed the salon. I closed both the salons. I will take a few clients if they have hair loss or alopecia, because that was kind of my specialty.
Hmm.
And every now and then I will take some makeup clients, because that's something that I enjoy doing. But originally, from high school and after, I did computer operations. So I've always been into the computers and intrigued by, programming and operations as well. So um,
You're well
that's
versed.
kind of like my background.
I got you. Now, that was some really good information. So, based out of those three things, wholesaling, hair and makeup, and wholesaling, hair and makeup, and computer science, what would you say is something that you can do in your sleep, no time, with like it comes off like it's nothing for you, like you can do it in your sleep?
Um, Real estate and hair, because I've always did both at the same time.
Bet. And you kind of you don't want to go behind the chair again. Would you
No,
rather consult?
yes,
Gotcha. And with the real estate, would you rather do the work or would you rather consult?
consult.
Bet. So out of those two, because the makeup and hair are always on point, and with the real estate, I mean, you can do well with either one of them, really. If you had to choose, which one would you feel more? Let me back up. With hair, the type of clients you were doing hair loss restoration type services, right?
Yes,
Were they a higher end type clients?
yes, I did get to the higher end. I, I, I started doing hair when I was like 16. So I got licensed when I was like 23.
Mm-hmm.
So as I got older, my clients got older, and then I started doing more high-end clients. So I would do, back when they had the pageants, I would do like the pageants. I would do more on that end and start I was getting more into celebrity clientele.
Yeah.
But if I had to choose, and I would say real estate, because I feel like it's something, especially being a woman, is something that women can really they can make income from. And with the economy and the way things are, and incorporating AI into that somehow, I feel like that is a way that women can make extra income.
It's funny you say that. I'm gonna say this before I say this, say that. I was thinking maybe you could go into, y'all have a couple of hair schools there.
Yes.
You could go into the hair schools and teach these students, like after they graduate college, graduate beauty school,
Mm-hmm.
you can like create your own program to help them um learn about hair loss restoration and how to get, high-end clients and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That can be, instead of you being behind the chair, you can teach what you know and
Yes.
create a certification program based off of that.
Okay.
That's one idea. Um,
All right, so now let's fast forward to present day, which it is August, so just a couple of months later.
Everybody, to another Sprint Spotlight Success. My name is Kel'sea Smith, and I'm the owner of the Social Solutions Agency. And what I have here, I have a gift for you guys. I have one of my students, and I no longer call them students. They like to be called business builders. So I want to introduce you all to one of my business builders. Her name is Jada Kennedy. Jada, tell everybody about yourself, who you are, what you do, and all that good stuff, and we'll get it started.
Okay. My name is Jada Kennedy, and I go by Savvy J. Um, what I do, I am a AI consultant, as well as I wholesale properties as well. So I am into investing. I've owned a hair salon for over 20 years, and I've been in real estate for over 20 years. So basically, with that business, we help to bring the buyer and the seller together. And I incorporate AI into that to show them how they can run more efficiently in their business as far as saving time and money. Um, as far as with AI, I also love editing and doing pictures. So I also do that as well on the side. And I've been able to generate income from that as also.
Awesome. Well, we're gonna get into a lot of that stuff. So I don't know if y'all heard, but she is multifaceted, multi-talented in a lot of different areas. So how long have you been in the AI space, Jada?
Um, well, I've been in the AI space now. I think it's going on, what is this, 26? And I started 25 with I took the course, and so I would say over a year.
Okay.
It's going over a year now with getting completely into AI.
Good. So tell me this, what were some of the challenges and I guess the number one struggle that you were facing before you decided to join the AI income activation, the sprint program that I have? What was some of the challenges that you were facing?
Trying to narrow it down and not being over educating myself on so much AI, trying to narrow down what it is that I wanted to do and being focused on one thing, and then being able to execute what I already had learned. That's where I felt that I was lost at before I joined the program.
So what made you say, okay, I need to do this?
What made me do it was one, spending a lot of money on so many programs and classes. That was going to have to stop. Buying a lot of tools and just getting to the point I was ready to start working the business. And I didn't want to just keep buying and buying and buying. So when I saw what Kel'sea was doing, I liked how she was organized. I liked how she was focused. I like how you knew what you wanted to do and you stayed on that. And every time I listened to any of your classes, you stay consistent and focused on what it is that you were doing. And to me, that's what I needed. I needed to be focused. I needed to um, get in line on what it is that I wanted to do in the AI field.
Mm, that's good. So do you feel like you were able to get what you were looking for inside of the program?
Oh, definitely. Yes, I did. I was able to stop buying all these tools, stop buying all these programs and classes, and I was able to get some order to it where I was able to, when we were in the class, I was able to get all of my ideas and everything together and be able to put it together that gave me a list of what I needed to do so I
Mm.
can execute and be focused on it. So, and I also learned, okay, what it is that I was doing. So, for instance, because I was taking pictures and I was sending them to people, I wasn't charging. So that's the one thing that I did learn was no more free things at all. You know, we have learned enough. We know the business. It's time to execute. So that's what pushed me into being where, okay, I can edit and I can do your pictures and there's a fee for it. So now anyone that even asks me for it, they know that there's a fee. There's no more free pictures, no free editing, anything like that. So it helped me to take it serious. And when you put a price to it, people take you serious when you do that.
For sure. I've been in a little bit of hot grass this last couple of days talking about this exact topic. You spend a lot of money, you mentioned, on getting certified and taking these courses just so that you feel like you can learn enough. Um, what do you think was holding you back from charging? And then let's start with that. What do you think was holding you back from charging for services?
I felt I didn't know enough. I felt that I needed to learn more. Oh, and then in this field in AI, something new is going to come out every day. And for me, I do have what I went to school for was computer operations and programming. So I was always curious about what was going on when it came to computers, especially with AI. So once you get into this, it will consume you. So you will just be, oh, there's a new thing coming up. Oh, there's a new class coming up. And now you're sitting here like, I need to learn that. I need to learn that. But what you're not doing is executing anything because all you're doing is just taking in knowledge, taking in knowledge. So That's when I liked that once I got in the class, you could just breathe. You could just, it was almost like Kel'sea is telling you it's okay to stop. You have learned enough. Now it's time for you to do something with it. And that was a big thing with me. Every new tool that came out, I was buying it. I have not bought a new tool. I have not paid for another class. I mean, the last thing we went to was Invest Fest, and that was basically for motivation and encouragement. But as far as paying for a class or a tool, I have put an end to that, and I did the goal for 30 days not to buy another course, not to buy another tool, and I stuck to that, and that made it so much easier to do that because then after that time goes by, it's a lot easier for you to be like, I don't need that.
Mm, yeah. So let's talk about it. You said you've been able to generate some income. I know we had talked a couple of times and I told you, okay, Jada, focus on this service, charge this amount of money.
Yes.
So, how long did it take you to make some money and how much money have you been able to make to date?
Well, now to date, I've made 1,000. I was able to hit that mark because I did talk to my family as well as, and then I did have a couple of people that I went to school with, and they saw what I was doing, and they liked the pictures, and they started asking me, okay, well, how much? Because I didn't post a price, but I think it was because of how serious I was taking it. They started asking me, hey, can you edit this picture or can you remove this picture? One thing I did like that I learned in your class was about joining the Facebook groups. So I joined one of the Facebook groups, and it was people who actually send pictures to ask people to edit the pictures. So it was like they had people who were they had loved ones that had passed that they kind of wanted to put them in a picture. And then I had those that, had pictures that were sentimental to them, that they wanted that picture to be edited and made clear. So what happened was, even though in that app it's free that you're doing it, but I had someone reach out to me in my message and say, hey, I have a couple of more pictures. Do you think you can do those? And how much would that be? So I had been kind of stuck at 700, but once they reached out to me, I was able to hit the mark of 1,000 with charging them to do some more work for them.
Congratulations. That's amazing. So, talk about your first payment. How did you feel?
Um, I felt really proud of myself because I stuck to it. And I didn't think that I was going to be able to do it. I thought, okay, you're just going to keep doing this for free and no one's going to want to pay you for it. And in my head, I kept thinking, well, they can just buy the apps and do it themselves. But a lot of times people don't want to do it themselves. They just want someone else to do it and they don't want to learn how to do it.
Mhm.
So I was really glad that I did that. I was really glad that I had took your class because sometimes you just need that little motivation and somebody else to just, tell you you're doing it. You learned it. Now execute it. And it's almost like that little slap on the wrist to be like, get it together, girl. You can do this.
Yeah,
And that's what I liked about it. And there were other women in there that you can hear that they were struggling with some of the same things you were struggling. So I wasn't alone in this.
for sure. That's amazing to hear. So, with that being said, there's a lot of people who feel like, well, I don't, what's different between this program and any other program that's out there? Could you speak a little bit from your experience, what you've been able to see the differences?
Yes, definitely, because I have taken a lot. Um, I like the one-on-one that you give. And I'm sure as you get bigger, we may not be able to get to you as much. So I'm going to enjoy it while I can. But what I have from taking other programs and classes, a lot of people will have class, they will teach you. Some will just teach you off of a video, and you never even get to talk to the person. So I do like that you do have smaller classes and you are communicating with the people in your class. And a lot of times I did not get that. I was in classrooms with 100 or more people. So even if you ask a question, you may get an answer, but you may have some more questions that you want to get to, and you can't really do that in a large space like that. Or even if they give you assignments to work on, you can't just say, well, they're going to do the spotlight next week and I'll be able to bring that up. You don't get that type of personal treatment. So I do like at this point where you're at, we're able to get that personal treatment and we're able to hear the other ones give their personal responses. So you kind of get to know each other. And then even when you were saying to get partners, I did have two partners in the beginning. We did connect and we talked a little bit. And every now and then, one of them, every now and then she'll text and just say, hey, how's it going? And that little bit of encouragement, when they say, hey, I'm still trying to do this, just checking to see if you're doing it. Or, just if they'll say, I didn't see you post, where sometimes you do get discouraged, and you might hear that. And that might be your motivation to say, what, let me get back on this. I was supposed to post today and I didn't. So I do like the personal treatment that we get from being in your program right now.
That's good. That's good to hear. I love to hear people's perspective on that. Um, a lot of people, try to figure out, well, I'm gonna just see if I can do it on my own by myself for some time and see where this goes. I don't need anybody to show me how to do this, or I don't want to spend any money. What would you say to those people who are kind of like, well, let me just see how this goes by myself?
I would say stop because I have tried that. And I think trying to do it by yourself is harder. And at the end of the day, you can't just always encourage yourself to keep going. You need to have that accountability partner to me. You need to have someone else that they have done this and been successful at it, and they're able to give you the pointers that you need. Because when you try to do it by yourself, it's why do it hard? Why do it with a struggle when you could do it with a team and a group? So to me, I definitely suggest not doing it by yourself. I mean, it's all good. There's so much advice out there that people tell you, you're strong. You could do it. You could do it by yourself. You don't need anybody else. That might apply to certain things, but with this, it does not apply to that, because this is something that when you're working for yourself, and anybody knows as an entrepreneur, we already do a lot by ourselves. So when you can come together as a group or a team, that support means so much more when you can come together, even if it's just one person. It means a lot because as entrepreneurs, we are already doing so much by ourselves. We don't have to do everything by ourselves.
Part, that part. So
Mm.
what would you say to someone who's on the fence, who's thinking about if this is going to be a good program for them? Why should they join? What would you say to those people?
First off, get off the fence and make a decision. Make a decision to join the program. And this is my thing. If you already joined so many programs and you are already trying so many things, so what's with trying this? Just try it. Give it 30 days. You can't just get in something and say, oh, I did this for 2 days and it didn't work. You can't. So get in the program, give it the 30 days. And then if it's not for you, it's not for you. But pretty much, if it's not for you after 30 days, you may need to reevaluate yourself and what you're doing if it's not working for you. So if you do get in it, you're definitely going to learn. You're going to learn something that you're going to be able to take away. And you're also going to have now that support system. I know that, and this is a little bit off subject, but before I was even in your program, I mean, you helped me so much. And to me, that said a lot because you didn't have to. So with my certification and things like that, and I felt so alone in a program that I spent so much money for. I felt so alone. And you were willing to take the time to help me, and I wasn't even in a program with you. So to me, that spoke a lot to me because you didn't have to do that. So to me, if you're debating, should I join this program or not, join the program because you have shown I'm here to help you. And you weren't even, I wasn't even in your program or class. You volunteered. So to me, you understand the struggle. You know what it's like. So definitely get in the program so you're not alone doing this by yourself. And there's no need to do it by yourself. And you'll have someone that you can always reach out to. Other people in the group can be your support system so you can move forward because the whole thing is you want to be successful and you want to move forward in this business and you'll give up. If you keep doing it by yourself, you're ultimately going to give up.
Man, that is so good. And I appreciate you for saying that. I'm in the process of writing my book, and I remember you and other people that I've helped along the way with the certification, which is why I decided to create this program because I noticed the gap. People were not finishing their certifications and people were
No.
not making money. And I'm like, why can I not just turn this into an opportunity to help? I mean, yes, this I felt anyways, but yeah, I
Mhm.
appreciate you
Yeah.
for saying that because it's a real thing, and a
Yeah.
lot of people, I feel like some people are meant to be 9 to 5ers and some people are meant to be entrepreneurs, and
Yes.
it's not for everybody, but for those who truly want to be successful with it and want to make money with it, I want to help as many people as possible
Right.
because these companies are letting people go left and right, unfortunately, without any
Mhm.
notice. And
Yeah.
we have to have a backup plan. So I am so proud of all the things that you've been able to accomplish. We met, what was it, last year?
Yeah.
Or around it. So I would say what, around November? When was that? At the
I
conference
think
last
it
year.
was around, was it around November?
It was
October,
November too,
November?
but I think it was
Yeah.
September.
It could have been, yeah. I
Or-
know, I know that it's coming up a year.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So you've been doing some amazing stuff. Continue to, like you said, and that was a great word. Continue to keep going. Life is gonna life. And
Mhm.
we have to push through the tough times. You're not going to make a dollar every single day. It would be nice, but as you're starting out, just keep going, keep persisting. I owe you a trophy now, so I definitely got to get that out to you. And yeah, I'm just so proud of everything that you do. Just continue to keep soaring, and like you mentioned before we stopped taping, Jada is in the wholesale space, and so with her and her husband, that would be a continued thing to keep doing, especially with AI. And people see that you're doing it and that you're passionate about it. I know you're going to crush it in whatever you decide to do.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. That's what I'm going to stick to doing it. And I encourage everyone else to stick to it. It is so easy to get discouraged and believe it or not, there's other people that, may discourage you too. So you've got to fight through this. If you're an entrepreneur, you got to have tough skin. You're going to have to fight through this. And when there's people willing to help you, you've got to take that help and keep going. So I know you even had a class, it was, I forgot which day it was, but it was just a day that I was feeling discouraged. It was like I was working on so many things and I just kept saying, oh my gosh, like why can't I get this? And we had the class that evening, and that just motivated me to get myself back together. And I started back on my routine the next day, and I kept going. So it helps when you are a part of something that everybody is working on the same line. And there's nothing wrong being a 9 to 5, but if you are an entrepreneur, you know how much harder that is. So you have to surround yourself and find people that you can surround yourself with to encourage you to keep going.
I 100% agree with that because I feel like I tell people all the time, you got to work this business harder than you work your nine to
You
five.
do. You got to get up earlier. You've got to stay up later. You've got to sacrifice. You may have money one day. You may not have money the next day. This is a business that you've got to push through. But because I've been doing it for so long, I know that there's money to be made. I've had other businesses that were successful being an entrepreneur, so I know that this one can be successful as well.
What's your goal for the next 30 days?
My goal for the next 30 days is I actually had it wrote down. What I did was I had ChatGPT. I was very detailed. I wanted it to give a schedule for me for all that I do as far as content creation, AI for Simple Cash, and it gave me a detailed schedule from 6 to 10 at night. And I have been following that schedule. My goal is to have 5 clients. And I thought that was reasonable for me in whichever capacity, whether it was wholesaling, AI, or the pictures. But my goal was 5 clients, and I feel that I can reach that. Um, Continue. I'm not buying any more programs. That was a big thing for me. I know people are like, "What's with her and these programs and tools?" But I'm always trying to learn, and that's just me. I'm always trying to learn the next thing because I know how fast AI is moving. But I also know for me to be successful in what I'm doing, I had to put that on hold and stay focused. So my goal is to continue to stick to what it is that I'm doing and stick to my path. Like I said, have 5 clients in 30 days and be able to just make sure my business is running at the best it can be.
That's good. Do you have like a financial goal that you want to hit in the next 30 days?
Yes, and I have been working, I've been playing around with that number a little bit. So my number is not that high, but my goal just for the end of the month is just to make 1,000. I know people are like, oh, that's nothing. Like, but for the AI and being in a business that's somewhat new to me, I think that is good. Of course, if it was in my wholesaling business, that amount would be totally different. But just for AI alone, with just editing pictures and just being able to get them on that side, my goal is $1,000 for the month.
You can do it. So what's that? 250 a week?
Mm-hmm.
Let me make sure because our math don't be good. 250 a week. So that's 77. Oh, that's $35.71 a day. You definitely can do that.
And I feel like I can reach that.
You can. You
And
definitely
each month, my goal will change. It will change and go up each month.
good. So how can people stay connected with you? How can they follow you and support anything that you're doing?
On social media, Instagram and TikTok is all Savvy JAI is what my you can look up Savvy JAI. That's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. All of them are Savvy JAI.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Jada.
Mhm.
I
And
appreciate
thank you.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. This was good. Good, good,
Yes.
good.